Alrighty. So this is the first live that I'm doing on the Billions Club, and it is all about the billions, which eventually will be a documentary series that I'll be creating. And the last 20 years of my life, what I've been doing is that I've been practicing and performing the art of illusions. Some people call it magic, sleight of hand, and essentially the original story behind it was I saw David. I saw one of my friends in school. Um, that's another thing that I've been doing is uh, failing, failing on doing some magic. So yeah, I saw one of my friends at school, and essentially he was doing a magic trick. I was in grade seven. This was back in 2003, and essentially he laid out like a roll. You guys probably seen this magic trick before, where you take out three. Actually, you know what? Why not? I just do that for you guys right now. So essentially, he took out a row. Let me just see here. 3 rows of cards. Okay, so he laid out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the first time I saw this, okay, the first time I saw this, I was like, man, how did he do it? But I didn't even see it at the first time. What happened was I just heard people saying, "Oh, wow!" Like I heard a reaction, and I think that's what got me. And I wanted to see what was going on. I think most of us were drawn to people reacting to things. That's why we see if we see so many likes on a video, then we're more drawn to be curious about why are so many people liking the actual video, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So essentially this is where it started. I mean, and somebody said, um, let's just say you pick a card. um, I didn't know what it was. He told me, he said, pick a card that's in any one of these piles, right? So there's 21 cards. Pick a card that's in any one of these piles. So let's say I picked the nine of hearts, right? But I didn't tell him. I just said, okay, I picked one. And then he said, okay, which pile is it in? I said, it's this one. Okay, great. So picked up this pile, picked up this pile, and picked up this pile. Okay. So then he dealt the cards out again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And he asked me, which pile is it in now? I said, well, it's in this pile. He said, okay. I did the same thing again. And then after I dealt it again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think this is how the card trick goes. It's been so long, man, since 20 years ago. Okay. And essentially, he said, which pile is it in? He's in this pile. I said, okay, fine, no problem. Um, so this is what he did. He ended up dealing the cards. He dealt it down 1, 2, 3, and I remember the card. Obviously, you guys know what the card is. Nine of Hearts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and to the 11th card. Now he said, for the first time, name your card out loud. I said Nine of Hearts, and it was the Nine of Hearts. So obviously, I didn't do it properly. I don't even know where the Nine of Hearts was. Maybe it was the 11th card or the 12th card. I don't know. Or it might have been the 10th card. Yeah, it was the 10th card. Okay, so it was the 10th card. So after 10 cards, boom, basically it was the Nine of Hearts. So that's what got me started. And then and and then after that, I ended up studying. I saw David Blaine on TV, and I saw him doing some crazy magic tricks. I saw him doing some walking up to random people, and then essentially, you know, basically doing um, tricks to random people and getting that crazy reaction. And one of the tricks that he did, this is one of the tricks that he did, was he got somebody to take a card. So just to say stop, right? We take a card, take a random card, okay, and he got them to actually sign the card. Okay, he got them to actually sign the card. He took the card and they signed their name on it. Let's just say my name or whatever. You could just write Jordan, right? If there was a live audience here, I'd say, hey, tell me to write something. Okay, hey, write something on the card. So, Lily, just name out a random word. Just any random word. Love? Okay, so she said love. Okay, so we're gonna write out Love, love. Okay, so you guys can see that. So now there's no way I could possibly duplicate this card, right? Because I just asked her for a random word. That was my daughter. So he took the card, and basically this was one of the first tricks that I learned. So he took the card, all right, and then put it somewhere about halfway in the middle. Okay, about halfway. You guys can see halfway, somewhere in there. And he told the guy, and I remember at the time when I was watching this, he said, the guy who wrote Fruity Loops or something, that was some guy on the street, and he said snap. So he snapped. The guy snapped over the deck, and then essentially the card jumped right to the top, as you can see here. Okay, I can't really see, but you guys can see it jumped right. It jumped right to the top. All right. So he said, okay, do that again, do that again. So he took the card. He said, look, this time what I want you to do is I want you to hold the card, hold the tip of it, and then put it wherever you want. So look, he put it wherever he wanted. Didn't do any shuffle or anything. He just told him to snap over the deck. So he snapped over the deck. Guess what? The card jumped to the top again. So he did it a third time, and it's like, and this is actually one of the tricks that fooled Houdini. If you guys know Houdini, he's one of the most famous historical magicians in the world. He did like a bunch of escape acts, and so and so there's the same card, right? You guys can see there. Put it here, put it here, and look, it's right there. I told him to snap again, and this time, hang on a second. This time, oh, no, hang on a second. He said snap, and this time, boom, it was right there. So you guys can see that. All right. So look, so this is what happened, and then the one thing that really messed me up was this last part right here, which is where he took the card, he bent it. Okay, he crimped the card. So now there's no way possible that you can mistake that that's the card. Right? You could see the crimp. Right? You could see the crimp. Okay. And check this out. All he did was he told the guy, "I want you to count on the count there. I want you to snap." And he said, "1, 2, 3, snap." And look, the crimp actually went to the top. Look at that. Look. Same crimp, same card. And that's what blew me away. So I went on I saw that and I was like, oh man, I really have to do this. Have to start learning how to do this kind of stuff. So that's what I've been doing. And since for the last 20 years, I've been, performing illusions and doing practicing the art of sleight of hand and and illusions. And it got me intrigued. And then at the same time, 3 years, 4 years later, I got unplugged from the matrix, you could say, where the matrix, I could say, is the mindset that people have fed into us, into the schooling system, which is, go to school, go to college, get good grades, work really hard, get into a good job, work for 40 years of your life, save up for retirement, and by 65 you should retire and enjoy the rest of your life. And I thought that that was going to be the way to do it, and I didn't see that I could actually make a career with doing magic, right? Doing illusions professionally, because I was doing some paid gigs here and there on the side, but I was still sold on the idea up to 2007 that doing magic was the way to actually go about. Sorry, going to school and getting an education was the way to go about actually making a living. And I also had a passion to help people, especially impacting young people, youth. Um, because prior to 2007, the year before, I went to a youth retreat, and it was a Catholic through a Catholic movement called Banal Paga Aral. It means Holy Studies, and it was for a weekend, a young men's retreat. And at the end of that weekend, it was such a life transforming experience for me at that time. They asked everybody to share, and I was one of them who just had the passion to wanting to share, and I shared in front of everyone. And They ended up saying people come. I don't remember what I shared, but I just remember that people after that saw had an impact based on what I shared. And from that point on, I thought, man, I have a passion. I really want to impact and inspire young people. And then the year later, boom, I got introduced to the world of network marketing, which showed me that hey, there is a different way to actually live prosperously and also have an abundant life, and at the same time help a bunch of people. And so, I stayed in that company for about 4 years. It was with Amway, and didn't really, make any headway into that. Really taught me the principles of sales and also about having a proper mindset. That was one of the biggest things that I had to learn was how to change the way that I thought. Because up to that point, all I knew was the employee mindset. I didn't really know the business mindset. And so even in that same year, I ended up going to a sales job that I thought I would do to make some money, to make some cash, aside from the network marketing company I was doing. And I failed at it. It was a company that I was doing merchant services for. And so fast forward up until 2012, which I shared before, was that I found a company where I found a mentor. And I found a mentor who taught me the principles of how to actually have a successful day every single day. And from that time on, when I got into that company, not right away did I get success, but it was after I learned these principles, probably a week or two in, that I started hitting the target of, making $400 in sales every single day. And I did that for 63 days straight. And I ended up teaching and training probably hundreds of people over the course of a year. And ended up opening my own office, training more people there. And then eventually, a few years later, got into HVAC sales, selling HVAC through appointments, and built a big team there. Ended up opening up my own agency through that, and still at the same time, still doing this, still doing magic professionally. So now, I always had the idea since I was introduced to the book Think and Grow Rich. I always had the passion to, like I said, impact young people. And at the time when I thought, okay, well, I thought I was going to do it through sale. I thought I was going to do it through network marketing. First, I thought I was going to do it through being a doctor. Then I thought I was going to do it through network marketing. Then I thought I was going to do it through building sales teams and companies. And then I had the idea back in 2013 when I first started getting success in sales was what Napoleon Hill did back in the early 20th century. When at the turn of the 20th century, the richest man in the world at the time was Andrew Carnegie, was looking for somebody to take on a task, which was to interview some of the richest people in the world and put a success library, a book of principles of success together. And Napoleon Hill was a journalist at the time, and he interviewed Andrew Carnegie, and Andrew Carnegie really liked the conversation with him, and ended up spending the whole weekend with him, and then gave the task to Andrew Carnegie. To Andrew Carnegie gave the task to Napoleon Hill, saying, "Hey, look, I want you to put a success principle book together." And fast forward, he made the decision within 30 seconds. He actually had Andrew Carnegie had a timer with him, unbeknownstly to Napoleon Hill, and Napoleon Hill spent the next 25 years of his life, not knowing what was going to come out of it. And eventually, he wrote the book called The Law of Success in 16 Lessons, and then Think and Grow Rich, right? And which was one of the most famous books up until now on success, right? But since then, nobody has interviewed probably that many people or the world's richest people. And I thought to myself, man, this was back in 2013. What if we documented that those interviews? What if we actually had a video camera and saw the interviews of like gathering the asking questions and finding out what the principles of success is? Wouldn't that be amazing, for people to have access to that kind of information? Because nowadays, to have access to some of the wealthiest people in the world, you have to be part of some sort of club or some sort of secret society of what people think of, or be a CEO or of one of these big companies. And I thought, why not give people even virtual access? So that's what this is about. This is the Billions Club. What I'm creating is I'm launching a documentary series where I'm gonna interview 52, okay, like 52 cards or 52 weeks, 52 of some of the wealthiest people on the planet who have built multi-billion-dollar, even trillion-dollar companies, and are billionaires themselves, and are also at the same time impacting and transforming the world in a positive way. You see, we see so many people that are looked at as billionaires who are impacting the world in a negative way, but there are also those few people that are also impacting the world in a better way. And I think marrying the two, where creating wealth and also impacting nonprofits, transforming the world as well, and through the business that you're building, can be married. The two can be married, right? Um, so I really believe that. Hang on a second. I really believe that you can marry the two together, right? So that's the key here of what I'm sharing with you guys um, is that's what the Billions Club is about. It's impacting visionary founders of business leader, people who are visionaries who for either profit or nonprofit, to turn their vision into reality. Okay, to turn their vision into reality. So, and the way that I'm doing that is first we have the documentary series. Secondly, we're going to have, take that collective information and put it into a large language model like a chat GPT. And it's like having a billionaire in your pocket. Imagine, you could type in a chat in the chat, like ask, even imagine texting one of these people who you admire, who have built a world changing business. Say, hey, I have an idea, want to bounce off of you. Tell me your thoughts on this. And boom, it answers it right away without delay. You could do it at 2 in the morning, you could do it at 5 at night, you could do it at 3 in the morning, or at any time of the day, 24/7. You have access to these billionaire knowledge, not just scrape data from the internet based on what they wrote or interviews, but real knowledge that they put in to this language model. And I'm going to give it away for free. Okay. And once that's built, just like ChatGPT, they gave 3.5 for free. I want to give this away for free, for startup founders and for not people who have founders of both profit and nonprofit. And then through that, I'm going to launch a platform called the Billions Club. Right, the Billions Club will have basically access to mentorship. Okay, mentorship of these billion-dollar founders. Okay, weekly webinars. Okay, from one of these founders from the documentary series, through whatever it is that they're going to teach, to help you to have a successful startup. And then monthly intensives, from one of these or a couple of these billionaire founders. In these monthly intensives, also at the same time, we are going to allow you eventually to have physical locations where we can meet together in person and even stream together, watch these monthly intensives, right? So for the opportunity to network on a monthly basis, and then even in terms of networking, have a geolocation type of map where you can locate other members on the map to connect and to build help each other, communicate with each other. And at the same time, um, you're gonna be able to have access to the preferred vendors of resources, of people, of things that you need to build your business. Right? Whatever it is that's gonna help you to create that visionary foundation, to actually turn it into reality. And then the last thing is also to have global conferences, once a year, where we get to meet as a global conference. Will be a yearly Billions Club meeting, which you get access to as a member as well. And so for that, we will be charging $97 a month. That's the price that I have in my head right now. And that the allocation of the funds, the way that we're going to divide it is 25% will go to a nonprofit of your choice. Okay, the goal is to eventually collectively as a platform be giving $1 billion to nonprofits a year. Okay, so that we can put the business of fundraising out of business, and these nonprofits can actually just solve the problems that they're looking to solve, right? And then another 25% will go to a local startup founder of your choice who's raising funds for their venture, right? So once a month, throughout the month, people can submit their pitches to the community locally and do like a crowdfunding where at the end of before the end of the month, or throughout the month, people will vote. And then at the end of the month, the person with the most votes within their city will get a portion of that 25% that you commit to that startup founder, right? And then another 25% will be given to ambassadors, people who are willing to share this and refer other people to become part of the platform, become part of the movement. And so this could be also a way for you to, generate some extra revenue for yourself while you're building your startup, while you're connecting other people, while you're also supporting, and to give back to you, to anybody that's an ambassador for the Billions Club, right? Whether you're an organization or an individual, we'd be more than happy to share that with you. And then 25% goes to the Billions Club, right? So that's our goal, is to give $1 billion away a year to nonprofits, and then $1 billion to startup founders who need the money, right? And collectively as a community to help create a world that's best for everyone through for-profit and nonprofit, having those two worlds combined. So what you're getting access is to mentorship, to mentorship, capital, right? Whether it's human capital in terms of networking, or like financial capital, right? And then also, yeah, the physical networking itself, right? Where you can meet up with other people as well for 97 bucks. I mean, I don't know, most people pay for software that, like, ClickFunnels, LinkedIn, happily, right? Because it's getting such a huge return, right? So so this starts with the documentary, then the large language model, like a chat GPT, like Billionaire in Your Pocket, and then the Billions Club. And eventually the goal is to have physical centers worldwide in major cities, where once a month, yes, you can join in, live stream the intensive, and network at the same time. And who knows where that's going to come. This is as far as I can see right now. And I know that once I get there, I'll see further. And yeah, let's get to that goal of $1 billion a year for nonprofits, and $1 billion a year for startups, so that we can turn those visions into reality. So that's what I want to share with you. The last 20 years I've been doing magic, but also wanting to impact people in a positive way. And I love you to be part of this movement. So if this is something that you want to continue to watch the journey on, I will be sharing the progress of where I'm at um, in terms of where I'm at in this journey. And yeah, I was just reading up on uh, a story of somebody who's successful. His name is Dwayne Dwayne Johnson, and really crazy. His father was a wrestler. He, was had a gambling addiction. He was successful, but then had a gambling addiction, and then ended up losing all the money. And The Rock, Dwayne Johnson at the time, tried to compete and try to become a professional football player, but then he got injured and was depressed for a while. Wasn't able to pursue his passion, and then ended up getting into professional wrestling, WWE. Obviously, you guys know the story if you've heard of him. Became one of the most successful WWE stars at the time, and then it got into the Mummy and the Mummy Returns, and then really his breakthrough was Fast and Furious, and now he's in multiple movies, has his own tequila brand and other things that he's venturing into, and I think he's worth like over close to $1 billion already. So, um, and he started literally uh, like where he was living in his car for a while with like I think it's like $7 in his pocket. So, I'm sure I always want to share some sort of story of success story of journey and breakthrough, and that's part of why I'm sharing my journey. And I know, yeah, the other thought that I was gonna have on the Billions Club, you will also have the ability to share your journey, kind of like a Snapchat, kind of like these other social media platforms where you could share your journey, the ups and downs, right? Not just the highlights. You want to share the ups and downs. Imagine seeing Amazon, in the beginning, and then the ups and then the downs and the ups and the downs. Just like when you're reading an autobiography or biography. So instead of it being written, it's like documented on video. So we also want to see your journey of how you got to of building your turning your vision into reality, right? So thank you guys for watching, whoever's watching here, and definitely we'll be sharing more illusions. Definitely we'll be sharing the progress and more stories of founders who have created successful companies and turned their vision into reality. So look forward to talking to you soon, and that's the end of this live stream.